Good morning, students. I hope you all are safe at your home. So, today I have come up with a new topic of your syllabus. So, that is basically uh, dialectic properties of matter. So, in this particular topic of your syllabus, we will study electric field in matter, polarization charges, electrical susceptibility and dielectric constant, and then we'll move across the capacitance, capacitor, basically capacitor filled with the dielectrics. So in this particular topic we'll study the parallel plate capacitor, spherical capacitor, and then cylindrical capacitor. Then we'll move again when we'll study the dielectric materials. So we'll define another vector that is basically known as the displacement vector D. So this displacement vector D is a very important quantity in order to understand the basic properties of dielectrics. Then we'll derive a common relation between electric field E and then polarization. I have discussed that is polarization. We'll define polarization vector, that is capital P vector, and then displacement vector D. So there will be a close relation between electric field vector E, polarization vector P, and displacement vector D. Then as we have already done in electric field and electric potential by using Gauss law. So that whatever Gauss law we have studied earlier, so that Gauss law was done in a vacuum or in a free space. So now I will define this Gauss law in a dielectric medium. So this is part of your syllabus which we have to study in this particular topic. So let us try to start. So what we'll do in this chapter, what we'll study in this topic, that we'll study the electric field in matter. Matter, of course, we come in many varieties like solid, liquids, gas, metals, wood, glasses, and these substances do not all respond in the same way to electrostatic field. मीन्स कहने का मतलब यह है कि जैसा कि हम लोग अपने जीवन डेली लाइफ में देखते हैं कि जो मैटर होता है, सॉलिड होता है, लिक्विड होता है, गैस होता है, मेटेलिक मटेरियल्स होते हैं, लकड़ी होता है, ग्लासेस होते हैं, ये सभी जो है इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फील्ड में एक तरीके से रिस्पॉन्स नहीं करते, एक तरीके से बिहेव नहीं करते हैं. Obviously if you go around yourself, then you will find out that every day we are interacting basically two major class of the material. So that two class of material, basically one is the conductor and another is the insulator. So here I'm again calling that is insulators. Basically insulator are the interest of our material in this topic, that basically insulators are also sometimes known as the dielectrics. Remember that all insulators are not dielectrics, but it is necessary condition that all dielectrics must be an insulator. For example, so there are several examples, like if you see that wood is a insulator. Insulator means where you cannot conduct the electricity, but this wood will be not a dielectric. Dielectrics are those material in which if we apply an electric field, then there will be automatically charge will be induced within the material, then those are known as the basically dielectrics. I will come across again that what are the dielectrics. So in our previous chapters we have already discussed, we have already talked about the conductors. Basically what are the conductors? Conductors are those materials or those substances which contains unlimited number of free charges to move within the material. So if they have a large number of free charges, obviously if you apply electric field, if you apply potential across the conductors, obviously current will flow very easily. So that is why they are known as the conductors. But in opposite to the conductors, insulators are those materials where electrons are tightly bound with the nucleus. So therefore there are no free charge carriers in the insulators. So again I will define the dielectrics. So dielectrics or an insulator is a material in which all the electrons are tightly bound to the nucleus of an atom. So obviously there are no free electrons in dielectrics to carry current. Hence the electrical conductivity of dielectric is very low. For example, glass, mica, rubber. So these are basically few examples of dielectrics. So as I mentioned earlier, that there is a necessary condition. It is necessary that all the dielectrics should behave like an insulator, but our insulator may not be a dielectrics. So you can understand in your own way. I have given example. Let us say that water is a insulator, but if you apply electric field, in presence of electric field, water becomes polarized, means their charge carriers induced basically, so that is why they are known as the dielectrics. So if you see the example of wood is an insulator, but it is not a dielectrics. So I feel that I hope that you clearly understood what is the basic difference between dielectrics and insulator. So what happen in dielectrics? If we consider a dielectric material, the nucleus of the atoms is positive charge and the electrons cloud is negatively charged. If two regions of charges within the atoms are influenced by external electric field, here I have mentioned external electric field. Let us say we have applied external electric field. Then when we apply external electric field in a dielectric material, a dielectric atom, what happens? This positive nucleus is basically pushed in the direction of electric field, and electron cloud is pushed in the opposite way. So when this positive charge and electron cloud is separated, means the two opposing forces, that is electric field pulling the electron and nucleus apart, their mutual attraction drawing them together reach a balance, leaving the atom polarized. So this phenomena is known as the polarization, with the positive charge shifted slightly one way and the minus charge in another way. The atom now has developed a tiny dipole. As I have discussed, what are the dipole? Dipole means basically if we have two charges, they are separated with a very small distance, let us say r or d. So the positive charge and negatives are charged, then this arrangement is known as the dipole. So when we apply electric field, the atom basically automatically is developed a tiny dipole that is known as the dipole moment, which points in the same direction of the electric fields. So this phenomena is known as the induced polarization, and the dipoles are known as the induced dipoles. Such materials are known as the basically dielectrics. So any insulator, in any insulator, if we apply an electric field, if that insulator becomes polarized in presence of electric field, means there automatically spontaneously there will be development of large number of tiny dipoles within the materials. So such insulators are known as the dielectrics. So here we have seen that we have understood that this number of electric dipole moments in any dielectric material, that is basically directly proportional to the applied external electric field. So P is directly proportional to E. So P is equal to alpha E. So here I have defined a new quantity, that is alpha. So alpha is basically known as the polarization constant, that is also known as the atomic polarizability of that particular dielectrics. So so we can safely say that all dielectrics are insulator, but all insulator may not be a dielectric. Only those insulator will be called as a dielectrics which have atomic polarizability. So when we are discussing about the dielectrics, it is necessary that we should discuss what are the type of the dielectrics. So there are basically two type of dielectrics are there. One is known as the polar dielectric, another is known as the non-polar dielectrics. So polar dielectrics, as we have discussed earlier, that we have assumed, if we consider an atom, the atom is basically consist of a positive nucleus and electron cloud. So in case of polar dielectrics which have permanent electric dipole randomly oriented in the dielectric material, they are basically known as the polar dielectrics. And this definition of polar dielectrics I will again define in more detail. And similarly, non-polar dielectrics are those material which does not have permanent electric dipole, but if we apply external electric field, so large number of tiny dipoles used to created in presence of electric field. So these are known as the non-polar dielectrics. So again, so here I have again tried to show diametrically in a diagram. So let us say we have a conductor. So if we have seen that in case of conductor, if we apply an electric field, so we know that in conductor whatever free charges are there, all the free charges are present at the surface of the conductors. So obviously if we apply in an external electric field, so an induced electric field is generated within the conductor. So therefore total electric field inside the conductor, that should be always equal to 0. But in case of in contrary to the conductor, so in case of dielectric materials, if we, as we have discussed, that if we apply electric field, if they are polar dielectrics, so whatever large number of tiny dipoles are present which are randomly oriented, they will be aligned in the direction of electric field. Or if that is non-polar dielectrics, the large number of tiny dipoles will be developed within the in presence of electric field. So that means the dielectric becomes polarized. So an internal electric field will be created within the dielectric material. So obviously in case of dielectrics there will be no internal electric field because there are large number of tiny dipoles used to created within the dielectric materials. So I have tried to show, if you define the non-polar dielectrics, so if you define the non-polar dielectrics means those dielectric materials whose center of positive charges, means that nucleus and the negative charges coincide, yeah, they lie on the same center of gravity, then those materials are known as the non-polar dielectrics. For example, if you see the non-polar dielectrics, hydrogen molecule, if you see, so hydrogen atoms are there and their positive charge and electron clouds basically they are lie at the same center of center of value. So that is why they are known as the non-polar dielectric. Similarly, if you see the carbon dioxide, so carbon and oxygen, basically we can say that non-polar dielectrics or non-polar molecules are basically highly symmetric in nature. Similarly, if we define the polar molecules or polar dielectrics, so polar dielectrics or polar molecules or polar atoms are those molecules whose center of positive charges and negative charges basically separated even when there is no external electric field is present. So it means then that means that polar molecules have permanent dipole moments. So these such molecules are known as the polar molecule, and then we can say that these polar molecules are asymmetric in nature. For example, hydrogen chloride. If you see the hydrogen chloride, in case of hydrogen chloride, all the positive charges are basically clouded across the hydrogen molecule, and all the negative electron clouds basically they are clouded across the chlorine molecule. So that is why here the positive charge and negative electron cloud they are not at the same center of gravity. So that is why they are known as the polar molecules. It means always there will be a dipole moments which is pointing from negative charge to positive charge. Similarly, if you take the example of hydrogen molecule H2O, that is water. So here all the positive charges basically they collected, yeah, they gathered across the hydrogen atoms, and the negative charges electron cloud is basically gathered at the oxygen atoms. So that is why a tiny dipole is present pointing from oxygen to hydrogen molecules. So this is the example of polar molecules. So here I have given another few examples of non-polar molecules and polar molecules. So in case of polar molecules, if you see, so there there is no electric field even though there are large number of tiny dipoles are present in a material, but they are randomly oriented. So if you measure the total polarization in that material in polar molecules, because of the random orientation of dipoles, so there will be no net polarization in that particular polar molecule or polar dielectrics. But if you apply the electric field, all dipole moments whatever are randomly oriented, they will be aligned within the direction of electric field. So this phenomena, the alignment of all tiny dipole which already exist in the material, so this phenomena is known as the polarization. Similarly, if you go through the non-polar molecules, in presence of electric field, when there is no electric field there is no dipole moments, so our positive charge and negative charge basically coincide. So there is no electric dipoles. But when you apply an external electric field, then this positive charge and negative electron cloud they are basically separated by a small distance. So that means a tiny dipoles used to develop in within the non-polar molecules. So this is known as the induced dipole, and this phenomena is also again known as the polarization. So one can define the polarization. The polarization is basically when a dielectric is placed in an electric field, then the number of dipoles are created if non-polar molecule is there, or dipole gets aligned if polar molecule is there in the direction of electric field. So this phenomena is known as the polarization. So in order to measure the polarization, we will define a vector quantity that is known as the capital P vector. So this is known as the polarization vector. The polarization vector is basically in any dielectric material, that is basically known as the dipole moments per unit volume. So if we define the polarization vector P, so obviously that is equal to small p. Here small p is the basically small p vector, that is dipole moments, and V is the volume. So the capital P, that is polarization vector, is equal to small p upon V. So this was the some elementary idea about the polar and non-polar dielectrics, and why I have defined the polarization and polarizability. So we'll let us try to solve some few problems, a few examples of this topic. So here I have taken an example of Griffith books. So that is example 4.1. So that example is, if consider, if you see that problem I have written here, a primitive model for an atom consists of a point nucleus that is positive charge surrounded by a uniformly charged spherical cloud that is negative charge of radius a. Calculate the atomic polarizability of such an atom. So if you see here, so here an atom is considered. So positive atom is obviously, as I discussed, atom is basically consist of nucleus and electron cloud. So here in nucleus is basically considered as a positive charge, and electron cloud is considered as a negative charge. So and the radius of an that atom is basically known as the a. So in if there is no electric field, so we know that if there is no electric field, so if this is a non-polar molecules, obviously there will be no electric dipoles, as I have tried to shown in a this figure I have drawn. So when E is equal to 0, so positive electron, positive nucleus and electron cloud basically they coincide. So this atom is a completely spherical, so there is no dipole. But when we apply electric field, as we have discussed, this electron cloud and positive nucleus will be separated by, let us say, distance d. Then a dipole basically a dipole is developed within an atom. So this is known as the induced dipole. So we have to find, in this case we have to find out the basically atomic polarizability of this atom. So we can, if you see, when we have already done that, we can calculate the electric field. We know that atomic polarizability, that is basically P is directly proportional to electric field, so P is equal to alpha E. It means in order to find out the atomic polarizability of such an atom, so we have to find out the what is the electric field generated within the material when we have applied external electric field. So this electric field will be basically be electric field due to the spherical atom, the spherical cell. If you see, so we have already calculated that electric field inside a sphere of radius capital R at a distance, let us say small r, so that E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 q small r upon r cube. So in present case, when we have applied electric field in an atom, so this positive charge and negative charge basically they are separated at distance d. So we can apply this electric field in case of this a particular atom. So in present case, a present atom, here capital R is basically equal to the radius of atom, and small r is basically that is separation between the two charges, that is d. So we can find out the electric field due to this positive nucleus at distance d. So that is E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 q into d upon a cube. Will define that quantity, that polarization, that is a dipole moment p vector, that p vector is equal to, that is q into d. So we can put that this value, so electric field is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 p upon a cube. So we can write p, that is dipole moment, p is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 a cube into E. So we have defined that p is equal to alpha E. So by comparing these two equations, we can find out that alpha is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 a cube. So this is basically known as the atomic polarizability. So this is what we wanted to calculate in the given example, in the given problem. Similarly, let us try to calculate another problem, which is basically this problem number, I think that is Griffith problem, that is problem number 4.4. A point charge q is situated at a large distance r from a neutral atom of polarizability alpha. Find the force of attraction between them. So this we have to find out the force of attraction between the a neutral atom which have polarizability alpha and a point charge q. So how we can find out? So let us think about that. So we know that if an atom is there, if atom have some polarizability, it means one can develop the tiny dipole within an atom, as we have seen in a previous problem. So we have a charge q situated at a distance r from an atom. So I have tried to shown in the diagram that q, basically an atom is there, that is a spherical I have sphere, I have shown a circular shape I have shown, and then I have taken r distance. I take r distance, there is a charge q. So obviously we know that we have studied, we have done in case of electrostatic, that if a charge is present in a space, so this charge basically induces an this charge basically generates an electric field. So basically this electric field is a function of source charge and the this position or location of the point of the observation of the electric field. So that E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 q upon r square r unit vector. So this is basically electric field which is generated by the source charge q, which is situated in front of a neutral atom which have atomic polarizability alpha at a distance r. If this electric field is present in front of atom, yeah, in nearby atom, obviously this electric field will induced and dipole in the atom, as we have seen in a previous problem. So we can find out the atomic dipole moments. So P will be equal to alpha into E, where alpha is the atomic polarizability which is given into the problem. So E, we have already find out that E is, so we can find out the small p vector, that P is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 alpha q upon r square. Obviously this p vector will be pointing toward the r unit vector along the r unit vector, so that is r unit vector. Obviously now we have seen, so because of this electric field there is a dipole moments is created within the atom. And now when dipole will be created within the atom, then the dipole will also produce an electric field on charge q. Obviously, so we have done already in our previous lectures that if a dipole is present, because of dipole an electric field is created due to the dipole. So we can calculate how much electric field is produced when a dipole is created within an atom at distance r at where charge q is located. So now our next step is to find out the electric field due to dipole at point r where charge q is present. So that is obviously that electric field due to dipole we have discussed in previous lecture, that is E dipole is basically function of r and theta. So that is basically P, that is dipole moment, P upon 4 pi epsilon 0 r cube, that is 2 cos theta r unit vector plus sin theta theta unit vector. Here if you see this dipole and the charge cube, basically though all both are lying in the same line, so that means theta is equal to pi. So we can find out this dipole electric field due to dipole, that is 1 upon substituting the value of pi, so that will equal to 1 upon 4 pi, that is P upon r cube minus 2 r unit vector. So by substituting the value of this P, small p, as we have calculated earlier, so we can get E dipole is equal to 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 1 upon r cube, that is 2 into 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 alpha q upon r square. So this will be equal to minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 1 upon r cube bracket in bracket, that is 2 alpha q upon again 4 pi epsilon 0 r square. So again we can write E dipole is equal to minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 1 upon r cube 2 alpha cube 2 alpha q upon 4 pi epsilon 0 r square. So therefore, so this is basically electric field due to dipole. So now we know that we can find out how much force is basically experienced by the charge q due to this electric field that is induced by the dipole. So that is basically we know that force is equal to q into E. Remember this E is basically this electric field is due to the electric field due to the dipole, and q is the charge which is situated in front of atom. So that is why this F will be equal to minus 2 alpha q upon 4 pi epsilon 0 square upon r cube. So here this negative sign reflects that force is basically attractive in nature. So that means if you see that force is proportional to 1 upon r cube. So this was the another problem we have solved from the Griffith. So let us take another example of Griffith, that is basically problem number 4.2. So that is I have written here also that according to quantum mechanics, the electron cloud for a hydrogen atom in ground state has a charge density that is rho r, that is rho is basically function of r, that is q upon pi a cube e to power minus 2 r upon a, where q is the charge of the electron and a is the Bohr radius. Find the atomic polarizability of such an atom. So here I have tried to give a solution. So first find the, obviously so how we can find out this atomic polarizability, as we have defined that atomic polarizability can be find out, that is if you are able to find out the electric dipole moment, that is P, so P is equal to alpha into E. So where this alpha is atomic polarizability and E is the electric field, it means in order to find out the atomic polarizability, we have to find out the electric field of such an atom. When external electric field is applied, then obviously electron cloud and positive nucleus will be separated and then dipole will be created. So let us, how one can do? Obviously, in order to do that, first we have to find out total charge which is enclosed within a sphere, that is basically due to this rho charge density which is given. So obviously this from the Gauss law we have done. So let us first find out the electric field at radius r using Gauss law. So that is surface integral of E dot dA, that is equal to Q enclosed upon epsilon 0, total charge enclosed within a spherical Gaussian surface upon epsilon 0. So E, where E is the vector and dA is the basically surface area. So obviously this surface vector means area vector and electric field vector basically both are pointing into the same direction. So we can write this E magnitude surface integral of that dA, that is equal to Q enclosed upon epsilon 0 to E into 4 pi r square, where r is the small radius, that is 4 pi r square Q enclosed, to E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q enclosed upon r square. It means we can find out the electric field very easily if we are able to find out the total charge enclosed within the atom. So that is basically electron cloud charge. So therefore Q enclosed can be find out, this charge volume charge density is given. So Q enclosed will be equal to volume integral rho r into d tau. So here d tau, that is basically volume integral. So obviously this integral will go, we will consider spherical polar coordinate. So that is phi, as we know that we can write 0 to 2 pi 0 to pi 0 to r square rho r, that is dr sin theta d theta d phi, where 0 to basically phi goes to 0 to 2 pi, theta goes to 0 to pi, and r goes to r to 0 to r. So if we integrate, so we will find out by substituting the value of rho r also. So we can get, that is 4 pi q pi a q 0 to r square e to power minus 2 r upon a dr. So this 4 pi and pi will pi and pi will be cancelled out. So we will get q enclosed, that is 4q upon a q minus 2 upon a e to power minus 2 r upon a. If you integrate, so that integral will come, that is r square plus ar plus a square by 2, that is 0 to limit 0 to r. So if you solve this integral, so we will find out minus 2q upon a square e to power minus 2 r a upon 2r upon a bracket r square plus ar plus a square by 2 minus a square by 2. So again if we solve, so let us take by taking common a square by 2 from both. So this 2q upon a square minus minus a square by 2 I have taken common. So this minus will become plus. So a square will be cancelled out. So that is minus bracket में in bracket 1 minus e to power minus 2 r upon a, that is in again bracket small bracket, that is r square plus ar plus a square by 2 capital bracket. Again so we can solve it. So that is q enclosed equal to q bracket 1 minus e to power minus 2 r upon a, that is 2 r square upon a square 2 r upon a plus 1. If you move ahead, so obviously so this will give the electric field. So this is basically electric field due to the electron cloud, because here q enclosed, basically what we have calculated, that this q enclosed is basically the total charge which is enclosed by the electron cloud. So that is why electric field due to electron cloud, that is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 q enclosed upon r square by substituting the value of q enclosed. So that will be equal to E, capital E into E, that this small e indicates that is electron cloud. So this means basically this electric field correspond to the electric field due to the electron cloud. So this is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 q upon r square bracket 1 minus e to power minus 2 r upon a small bracket 1 plus 2 r upon a plus 2 r square upon a square bracket close. Now if the electric field is if the external electric field is applied, then this positive nucleus, which is basically here proton, because hydrogen atom is there, that is why I am calling that is proton, will be shifted from r equal to 0 to a point D where external electric field E will be equal to the electron cloud electric field. That means this external electric field has to be cancelled out by this electric field which is generated by the electron cloud at distance when there will be separation between the electron cloud and positive nucleus when this electric dipole will be created. So that means E is equal to E electric field. So that is at r equal to D. So therefore we can find out the external electric field, yeah, that is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon, that is equal to the electron cloud electric field which I have written here. If you see in that electric field basically contain an exponential component. So if we simplify this exponential component, so if we expand this exponential, that is e to power minus 2d upon a by substituting the value of r is equal to d. So e to power minus 2d upon a, that is equal to 1 minus 2d upon a plus 1 upon 2d upon a का square minus 1 upon 3 factorial 2d upon a का cube plus higher order term. So if we solve this, then we can find out 1 minus 2d upon a plus 2d upon a का square minus 4 by 3 d upon a का cube. If we solve this again, so in electric field there is again another term, that is 1 minus e to power minus 2d upon a plus bracket में 1 plus 2d upon a plus 2d square upon a. By solving this, we will see that only this all term will be cancelled out, only one term will be remaining, that is 4 by 3 d cube upon a square, and other higher order term, so we will neglect those higher order term. So by substituting, so we can find out the exact value of electric field. That electric field becomes 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 q upon d square, that is 4 by 3 d cube upon a square, or that is equal to we have defined q into d, that is basically p. So we can write in terms of electric dipole moment, that is 1 upon 3 pi epsilon 0 p upon a cube. Remember here in place of r we have substituted d. Why this we have substituted? Because if you apply electric field, then a tiny dipole will be developed, and this tiny the separation of this tiny dipole, let us say d, this will be developed till the external applied electric field will be opposed by the electric field which is developed due to this tiny dipole. So that is why I have equated E is equal to EE, capital E into E. So this capital E into E, that is electric field due to electron cloud, that is because of the electron tiny dipole, and this capital E, that is basically external electric field. So that is why, and this happens when dipole is created at distance d, so of separation d. So that is why r is equal to d I have kept. So then we can find out this p is equal to 3 pi epsilon 0 a cube e. So this obviously if we compare with p is equal to alpha, so alpha is equal to 3 pi epsilon 0 a cube. So I believe I have solved 3-4 problems, and I have given examples of the. If you again go back, so I have started from the very basics. What is the dielectrics, and what is basically then conductors, and the example of dielectrics. What is the phenomena of induced dipoles and dipole moments and polarization, and this electric dipole, and then type of dielectric, polar dielectric, non-polar dielectrics. And then again I have given some examples, real examples like hydrogen molecule, carbon dioxide, they are basically known as the non-polar molecules, and similarly polar, that is hydrogen chloride, H2O. And then I have again given induced polarization and polarization, and then we have defined polarization vector. Then I have solved the 2-3 problems. So I will come to the next topic in after some times. Thanking you very much for listening. Stay at home, stay safe. Thank you very much.